we're really trying to put something together that's amazing, for this community. And I was going to be cheating everybody.
The thing is, quit shouldn't be thought of as cowardice, because there are situations where it's very clear you should quit.
Are you serious?
So let's slap whatever name first comes to mind on this thing. Epic. Because that's what this whole con is going to be.
What if I told you that one of poker's most promising ventures collapsed in less than a year, leaving millions in debt and a trail of broken promises to the game's most elite players? Today, we're diving deep into the rise and spectacular fall of the Epic Poker League, a story of greed, betrayal, and how poker's supposed saviors became its biggest villains. The Epic Poker League officially launched in early of 2011, riding the wave of poker's popularity but aiming to elevate it beyond the mass market appeal of the WSOP or the WPT. Founded by Federated Sports with former WSOP Commissioner Jeffrey Pollack as executive chairman, pro player Annie Duke as commissioner, the EPL was marketed as an exclusive club for the game's elite. The vision was grand. To join, players needed multi-million-dollar lifetime earnings, multiple major tournament wins or cashes, and adherence to a code of conduct stretching back to 2008, which was no felons and no chronic deadbeats. The league promised no rake, adding $400,000 to each prize pool, free accommodations at the Palm Resort, and TV coverage on CBS. It sounded perfect for the high rollers because of the exclusive fields, added prize money from the league, and a focus on skill over luck. Season 1 was set for 5 events, 4 $20,000 buy-in mains, leading to a $1 million free roll championship for the top 27 players. Pro AM qualifiers let amateurs sneak in, adding a touch of accessibility. Stars like Antonio Sfandiari, Huck Seed, and Mike Matusow signed on, hyping it as poker's next evolution. Jeffrey Pollack and Annie Duke positioned it as a clean, ethical alternative to the scandal-plagued online world, with Annie Duke even chairing a standards and conduct committee to enforce the rules. The first event was in August of 2011, which drew 137 entries, with David Chino Ream taking down $1 million after outlasting Erik Seidel heads up. Poker fans were buzzing. This could be the next big thing. But cracks started showing almost immediately. Even before the cards were in the air for the inaugural event, controversy swirled around winner Chino Ream. Just days prior, prominent players like Ben Lam, Joseph Cheong, and Will Molson took to 2+2 forums to accuse Chino Ream of scamming them out of tens of thousands of dollars in unpaid debts and loan. Molson detailed how Ream allegedly stiffed him for $40,000, and Joseph Cheong claimed the same amount. Chino's victory, while skillful, felt tainted. Here was a guy shipping $1 million while allegedly owing money all over the poker community. Tony Dunst even tweeted about whether people would escort Ream to the cage to ensure he paid up. It set a tone of skepticism. If the league's first champion was embroiled in personal scams, what did that say about the EPL's vaunted code of conduct? The league tried to brush it off, but it was an early red flag that ethics might be more talk than action. The scandals didn't stop there. As the league geared up for its second event in 2011 with 97 entries, more drama unfolded. Mike McDonald won that for $780,000, beating David Steckel heads up, but behind the scenes, the EPL Standards and Ethics Committee was making headlines for bringing Michael DeVita, a offender who had won a $20,000 seat in a qualifier. DeVita was refunded his $1,500 entry fee, but not the full seat value, leading to a heated confrontation where he claimed ethics chairman Stephen Martin threatened public embarrassment and had security escort him out. DeVita even went on Quadjack's radio threatening a lawsuit for civil rights violations and the remaining $18,500, arguing the league discriminated against him. While some defended the EPL's right to protect its image, others questioned the fairness. After all, the league's code was supposed to be about poker conduct, not personal history. It highlighted the subjective nature of who got to play in this elite club. By the third event in December of 2011, won by Chris Klodnicki, the league was already showing signs of strain. Whispers of financial trouble were growing louder. The EPL had promised a fourth tournament in February of 2012, featuring heads-up action, followed by that glittering $1 million free-roll championship. But the poker world was still reeling from Black Friday in April 2011, drying up sponsorship and investors overnight. The EPL's ties to controversial figures did not help either. In September of 2011, the league suspended Howard Lederer, Annie Duke's brother, and denied membership to Chris Ferguson after they were implicated in the Full Tilt poker scam. Annie Duke herself endorsed Ultimate Bet during its super user cheating scandal, where insiders like Russ Hamilton stole up to $22 million. Though she was not directly implicated, she cashed in checks while the site covered it up. It was a PR nightmare. How could a league preaching ethics be associated with the biggest poker fraud in history? Then the hammer came down. On February of 2012, just months after launch, Federated Sports filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, citing over $5 million in debt to more than 100 creditors with only $15,000 in cash on hand. The fourth tournament was cancelled and the promised $1 million free roll never happened. Players who had grinded through the series, accumulating points and expecting that massive payday, were left high and dry. Annie Duke and Jeffrey Pollack insisted it was a reorganization, not liquidation, but the assets, including the EPL brand, were sold off to Pinnacle in a June 2012 bankruptcy auction. So why did the Epic Poker League fail? On August 11, just one day before the first event began, Daniel Negreanu wrote a blog post on Card Player on why he wasn't playing in the Epic Poker League. Negreanu said he chose not to participate in the league for one simple reason: he didn't think it would survive. He said that the league would not be able to generate revenue and attract sponsors. He said that it was giving way too much money away. He even predicted that it would be an epic fail. Negreanu could not have been more correct.
These events boasted the cream of the crop in terms of poker talent, there's no question about it. There was virtually no dead money in them, aside from the $400K added by Epic Poker. In addition to that, the players who chose to take part in their events were also promised an additional $1 million free roll. For a lot of players, that $1 million could sway their decision to participate. Many of you may not realize how potentially important this issue is, but getting poker on network TV has always been a tremendously hard sell, and networks, cable or otherwise, weren't paying for poker shows. Based on what I'm hearing from a trusted source, Wicked Chops Poker, they had enough money to cover at least season 1, but mismanaged their finances and somehow are left with $15,000. And according to reports, owe 22 employees a paycheck. Who was giving them financial advice? Ray Batard and Annie's big brother Howie? Annie sent an email to league members claiming that they were postponing event number 4 to avoid scheduling conflicts. Based on her track record of lying, coupled with the fact that the cupboard appeared to be empty, does anyone believe that's true? Rumors of a sale to Pinnacle surfaced shortly after that email, and then it was revealed that the money was gone. Anyone who's ever asked me personally about Pollack or Duke, I warned them to not do business with them because they're dishonest at the core. This guy's been booted from so many jobs, he makes Lindsay Lohan look like a good hire. You've failed to keep your promise to the players, you've burned through investors' money at breakneck speed, you've tarnished an extremely successful brand and company in the Heartland Poker Tour, and you've taken people's money that charitable organizations were thankful for, but they still haven't seen a check. You found maybe the one person in poker as shady as you to go along with the plan, Miss Annie Duke. You knew she had no problem lying for you. You look at her track record, she's been doing it her whole life. It's a match made in heaven. Congrats.
Critics referred to other failed ventures like the United Football League, noting the EPL's overambitious expansion without a solid financial foundation. Many in the poker community pointed fingers at Annie Duke, accusing her of poor management and refusing to make good on the free roll, which effectively ended her poker career. Annie Duke retired from poker in 2012, pivoting to decision science books like Thinking in Bets and speaking gigs, though the community still calls her out on social media for the scandals. Jeffrey Pollack bounced to roles like president of the XFL in 2019, but his poker cred took a hit. The league's collapse deterred investors, stunting poker's growth as a mainstream sport and reinforcing the need for transparency. In the end, the Epic Poker League stands as a cautionary tale in poker's history. A reminder that even with big names and bigger promises, without transparency and solid finances, things can go bust fast. It wasn't a deliberate Ponzi scheme like Ultimate Bet or Full Tilt, but the unkept free roll and massive debts left players feeling cheated. For the poker audience, it's a story of what could have been an elite league that elevated the game, but instead crashed and burned, joining the ranks of infamous poker scams.